Today, we're going to talk about three of the coolest things that we find in our solar system: asteroids, comets, and meteors. Okay, asteroids, comets, and meteors. That's the three things we're going to talk about today. Asteroids are so cool. Asteroids are just broken pieces of rock, okay, that orbit the sun, but they're only located in the asteroid belt, okay? And the asteroid belt, remember, is in the middle of our solar system. It's between Mars and Jupiter. Asteroids are all different sizes. They can be the size of dust particles, or they can be the size of buildings, okay, and everything in between. But again, asteroids are only found in the asteroid belt. If the asteroid gets knocked out of the asteroid belt, because there are billions of asteroids, all right, there's millions and billions of them. They're broken around, and they do bump into each other. Like if you've ever played a game of pool, when you break when you start a game of pool or billiards and you break the rack, all right, the balls go flying everywhere. Well, the same thing can happen to the asteroids in the asteroid belt. When they come out of the asteroid belt, okay, their name actually changes. What it is doesn't change. It's still a broken piece of rock debris. Some scientists believe that this should have been a planet here that never actually fused together. That hasn't been proven, but a lot of scientists believe that. So we've got these broken pieces of rock that are going around the asteroid belt. Once they leave the asteroid belt, okay, it's going to change its name. It's going to be called a meteor. But the composition and what it's made of doesn't change, just the name. And we'll talk more about meteors right now. Now, a meteor, okay, is a piece of rock and dust that travels through space. So these asteroids get knocked out of their orbit, okay? They bump into each other and they get out of the gravity pull of the orbit of the asteroid belt, and now we call them meteoroids, okay? It's still the same chunk of rock, but it's called a meteoroid. Now, meteors, okay, will actually get pulled towards planets if they get too close to them, okay? And it gets pulled to them because of gravity. Okay, so if they get too close to a planet, they start getting pulled towards the planet by gravity. If it actually hits the planet, and meteors do hit planets, it's called a meteorite. Okay, again, it's just a name change. It's a meteorite. Now, most meteorites, when it hits a planet's surface, especially here on Earth, it just usually lands in the ocean. You'll never even know about it. Most meteors, as they're getting pulled towards the Earth, actually disintegrate due to friction in the Earth's atmosphere. So a lot of them you will never even see. So you never even hit the planet. They'll just disintegrate, and it looks like this. It looks like a shooting star. Okay. Now you may have heard the saying, "I wish upon a shooting star." And if you wish upon a shooting star, unfortunately, your wish doesn't come true. But it sounds nice. Okay. I think it's from Disney. Now, um, what you really need to do, if you want to make a wish on a shooting star, because there is no such thing as a shooting star, okay, remember the stars are really just huge suns, okay, and suns, when their time is over, they actually just collapse into a black hole. We'll talk more about that later. But instead of saying, "I wish upon a shooting star," when you think you see a shooting star, say, "I wish upon a burning meteor." And that's how your wishes come true. It doesn't have as much flow as "I wish upon a shooting star," but you should say, "I wish upon a burning meteor." Okay, but Disney didn't think that was very cool. It didn't sound as good, so they went with the other way. But again, what you're seeing is asteroids. When asteroids get knocked out of the asteroid belt, they go flying through outer space as meteoroids. Okay, if they get too close to a planet, gravity will pull them towards the planet's surface. Most of them will just disintegrate in the atmosphere, and they're burning meteors, not shooting stars. And if they do actually hit a planet, it is called a meteorite. And there's been plenty of meteorites that have actually hit the planet Earth. And you can even go visit some spots. Here's what a couple meteorites, okay, and meteors would look like. All right. Here's a couple of spots where they would actually hit. These are larger ones that have actually hit. You can see, I believe this one is in Australia. It's Australia or Arizona. I can't quite remember right now. You can see the parking lot here, the visitor center. So this was a pretty big one that actually hit land. Same with over here. But most meteorites that actually hit Earth are actually kind of small little rocks, pebbles, dust, stuff like that. And again, most of them, when they hit the planet, they hit the ocean, and you would never even know. But yeah, this is what different types of meteorites would actually look like. And if larger ones hit, yep, they can do some damage. Sometimes you could just be walking through the woods and find a sinkhole for no apparent reason. Maybe this is a leftover meteorite. Maybe it's not. Don't know. But smaller ones, size of dust, maybe golf ball, ping pong ball. Okay, it could leave a little hole, something like that. But again, most just land in the water and the oceans. Again, I already went through my "I wish upon a shooting star" story. Okay, no such thing as shooting stars. Again, what you're wishing upon is a burning meteor. So if you want your wishes to come true, say, "I wish upon a burning meteor." Okay, and they just burn up in our atmosphere due to friction. So that's asteroids. Asteroids, remember, we only find in the asteroid belt. All right. When they get knocked out of the asteroid belt, they become meteors that can hit into different planets if it gets pulled into gravity. And then we have something called comets. Okay. Comets are big chunks of ice and rock that go in really long elliptical ovals around the sun. They have their own orbits. Okay. Now, comets, because they are in their own orbit, you do not have to worry about a comet getting pulled towards Earth and crashing into Earth or anything like that. That won't happen. Now, as they get closer to the sun, comets actually start to melt, okay, because they are made up of a lot of ice. And that's when the tail starts to appear. Now, our most famous comet, okay, is called Halleys Comet. This is what a comet would look like from Earth with a telescope. Okay, would be the tail. Because it's getting close to the sun, the ice is actually starting to melt, so you see a little vapor. Now, Halleys Comet, here's the orbit for Halleys Comet, and a nice picture of it too. Okay, here's the head of the comet, here's the tail. This is the orbital path of Halleys Comet. You can see it almost slingshots itself around the sun. It gets really close to the sun, and then it slingshots itself all the way to the outer parts of our solar system and does it over and over and over again. All right. So right now, you can see Halleys Comet comes around once a lifetime, basically, um, and it comes into our view. So it's actually really cool to take a look at. So we're down here by the sun. Okay. So it has to be in this area over here in order for us to see it. So if we were to follow and track Halleys Comet right now, here's 1990, 1995, 2000. Halleys Comet is way out here. Halleys Comet is still going away from us, but it is about to turn around. It's about to turn around and start coming back towards Earth in order to slingshot around the sun again. So the next time we're going to be able to see Halleys Comet is around in the year 2061. All right. The last time we were able to see it was about 1996, 86, 86. All right. And it's going to slingshot around the sun and then come on back. So you'll be able to see it in around 2060, 2061. Again, it's made of the head and the tail, which is just a vapor trail because the ice of the comet starts to melt and you get that nice trail behind it. All right. So that's three more things in our solar system that you need to be aware of. We've got asteroids, which are just large chunks of ice that you find in the asteroid belt. You've got meteors, which when they get knocked out of the asteroid belt, these are rock debris that goes flying through the outer space. If it gets too close to a planet, it gets pulled into the planet and can crash into the planet, at which time it's called a meteorite. But most just burn up in the atmosphere and you have nothing to worry about, or just land in the ocean. And then finally, we have comets, which are on its own orbital path that slingshot around the sun, made up of ice and rock chunks. Okay, three more things in our solar system that you can definitely take a look at.